This is the strangest thing that's ever happened to me on the road. And I promise, there's nothing supernatural in this. No ghosts, no weird tech glitches. It was just a real person, out on a dark highway, doing something I still can't fully explain. And honestly, the whole thing only happened because I was trying to save money. At the time, I was moving states for a new job. Nothing glamorous, just an entry-level office job in logistics. Mostly spreadsheets, answering emails, and dealing with people who wanted to know why their deliveries were late. But for me, it was a step up. Better pay, actual benefits, a fresh start. The move itself was cheap. I drove a small hatchback, an older Honda Fit, and I had the back seats folded down with all my belongings stuffed in every possible space, a TV wrapped in a blanket, a half-broken IKEA desk in pieces, a couple of storage bins, my monitor wedged between jackets so it wouldn't crack. The car looked like a mobile thrift store. Money was tight, so right away I decided no motels. The plan was to drive as far as I could, nap in the car whenever I got tired, and finish the long trip in a single push. I'd done a few long drives before. I figured I'd be fine. That confidence didn't last. Hours into the night, the road had turned into one endless gray ribbon. The inside of the car felt stale and warm from breathing the same air for too long. My coffee had gone cold. My eyes had that gritty feeling, like sand was stuck under my eyelids. I kept blinking hard just to stay alert. The radio was just background noise at that point. My brain wasn't really absorbing anything. I was somewhere between cities, on one of those stretches of highway where the exits are miles apart, maybe 90 minutes from anything resembling civilization. Occasionally I'd pass a semi or a lone car headed the other way, but otherwise it was just me, the hum of the engine, and the little glow from the dash. When I saw the brown Rest Area 1 mile sign, I felt actual relief. It was like someone had thrown me a life jacket. I remember muttering, "Good. Okay. Good." Like I was trying to convince myself I'd be safe to stop. In my head, I pictured the usual setup. A brick building with public bathrooms, a few vending machines, maybe 3 or 4 trucks with their engines idling, a safe, neutral space. Somewhere I could lock the doors, recline the seat, and shut my eyes without worrying. But when I took the exit, that image fell apart instantly. The headlights swept over the building, and the whole thing was boarded up. Every window covered with plywood. The doors were barred with metal plates and old caution tape that flapped weakly in the breeze. The place looked like it hadn't been open in years. The parking lot was worse. Out of several tall lights, only one worked properly. 2 were flickering so badly they barely helped, and another wasn't on at all. The shadows felt heavier than they should have in an empty lot. I slowed to a crawl, staring at it all. My first reaction wasn't fear. It was irritation. Just this tired, annoyed sigh like, really? Right now? I should have left. I know that now. But exhaustion makes you rationalize anything. I told myself it didn't matter. The bathroom was closed, fine. But I was only planning to sleep. I'd be inside my locked car the whole time. How bad could an empty lot be? So I parked under the brightest lamp, dead center of the lot, and turned off the headlights. I reclined my seat, used my jacket as a pillow, and tried to get comfortable. I didn't fully fall asleep. It was more like drifting in and out. My mind kept replaying little worries, whether I had enough money until my first paycheck, whether I packed everything, whether my car was going to survive the rest of the drive. Normal stress stuff. Then, out of nowhere, I felt it. A soft bump from behind. The whole car shifted forward maybe an inch, just enough that I couldn't pretend I imagined it. My eyes shot open, heart pounding like someone had hit me in the chest. My immediate thought was, did someone just hit my car? I sat up straight, grabbed the wheel without meaning to, and checked the rearview mirror. And there it was. A pickup truck had parked directly behind me. Not in a normal way, diagonal across 2 parking spaces, almost touching my rear bumper. The headlights were off, but the engine was running. I could see the faint vibration of the hood in the dark reflection. No other cars in sight, no trucks, no people. Just that pickup, positioned like it had intentionally crept up behind me. I waited for a door to open. If someone accidentally nudged me, they'd get out, they'd walk over. They'd wave or apologize, or at least look at the damage. But nothing happened. I stared at that mirror until my eyes stung. The longer it sat there idling, the more wrong the whole situation felt. The air in the car felt heavy and stale. I could hear my heartbeat in my ears. I reached down quietly and turned the key to accessory so I'd be ready to start the engine without flooding the headlights onto the guy. I had this weird instinct not to reveal I was awake. Then I heard it. A soft metallic click next to my left elbow. My driver's door handle had just been tested from the outside. Not yanked, not rattled. Just a gentle, deliberate test. Enough to make the door panel vibrate slightly. Then it happened again. Another soft click, firmer this time, like fingers trying the handle again, checking the lock. There is nothing like the feeling of realizing someone is inches away from you and you didn't hear them walk up. Every muscle in my body locked up. My mind went blank, then flooded with panic. I didn't want to look. I couldn't make myself turn my head and meet a face through the window. My brain kept repeating, did I lock the door? Did it unlock when I turned the key? Did I imagine it? No, someone is there. Without thinking, I slammed my hand onto the horn and held it down. The sound exploded through the empty lot. My whole car vibrated with the noise. It was so loud it actually hurt. In the mirror, I saw the pickup jerk. Whoever was at my door must have jumped back. I dropped the horn, started the engine, and threw the car into gear. My hands were shaking so hard I almost slipped off the shifter. The pickup reversed slowly, like the driver didn't want to look panicked. Then it straightened out and pulled toward the exit, stopping right at the edge like it was waiting for me. I didn't want to drive past them, but staying put felt worse. So I took a deep breath, whispered something like, "Please just stay there," and rolled forward. As soon as I got onto the on-ramp, they pulled out behind me. Still no headlights, just a dark shape signaled only by my own taillights reflecting off its grill. I kept checking the mirror, and every time I did, I felt my stomach drop. My throat felt tight. My palms were sweating so badly, I had to wipe them on my jeans between lane changes. I kept trying to convince myself. Maybe they forgot to turn their lights on. Maybe they're not following you on purpose. But everything I did, they matched. If I sped up, they sped up. If I slowed down, they held the same distance. If I changed lanes, they shifted over a moment later, and the whole time. No headlights. I started debating calling 911, but I kept thinking, what do I even say? Someone's driving behind me without headlights? Someone bumped my car? Someone pulled my door handle? It sounded insane out loud. Plus, the next real city was still far away, and I didn't even know exactly what mile marker I was near. At that point, fear turned into frustration. I actually muttered, "Why here? Why me? Why tonight?" Like this stranger had personally targeted me out of spite. It sounds stupid now, but when adrenaline kicks in, your brain gets petty. We drove like that for miles. It felt like time slowed down. Every sound in the car sounded sharper. The engine hum, the rattling from my boxes, the faint noise from the tires. My breathing was too loud. Then, finally, something changed. A bright set of headlights appeared behind us, an 18-wheeler coming up fast in the left lane. The semi pulled up beside me and began to pass. For a few seconds, the truck blocked my view completely. When it cleared my line of sight, the pickup was gone, just gone. No exit nearby, no shoulder stops, no break in the guardrail, just empty road behind me. I kept waiting for it to reappear, but it never did. Eventually, I pulled into a busy gas station after the sun came up. Normal life was happening. People buying breakfast sandwiches, kids whining about snacks, someone talking loudly about their fantasy football team. All the normal noise felt surreal after that silent highway. I got out to stretch and fill up the tank, and that's when I saw it. Right under my driver's door handle was a smeared, greasy handprint clear as day. 4 fingers, and the curve of a palm, dragged slightly downward like someone had pulled on the handle and slid their hand. I just stared at it for a long time. There was no way it was mine. I hadn't touched anything greasy, and I definitely hadn't seen it when I'd left earlier. I asked the cashier for wipes and cleaned it off slowly, but even after wiping it, you could see the faint outline in the paint. When I got to my new apartment that afternoon, I told my parents. My mom freaked out immediately. My dad switched into practical questions mode. Color of the truck, any chance I got a partial plate, what direction they turned, stuff like that. I filed a non-emergency report later that day. Not because I expected them to catch anyone, but because it felt wrong not to say anything. The officer listened. They were polite. They said they'd log it, and if other reports came in from that area, they'd connect the dots. But nothing ever came of it. Looking back now, I think the explanation is simple. That closed rest stop was the perfect spot for someone looking for vulnerable people. Dark, isolated, no cameras, no workers, no steady flow of cars, and a lot of travelers pull off when they're exhausted, not thinking clearly. My best guess, someone was going car to car looking for unlocked doors. People sleeping too heavily to notice. Maybe they were looking to rob someone, maybe steal a car, maybe something worse. What scares me most is the idea that if I hadn't reacted right when the handle moved, if I'd been just a few minutes more asleep, something very different might have happened. Now, I don't nap at rest stops at all. I'll pay for the motel. I'll drive an extra half hour. I'll do anything except sit alone in a dark, empty lot with my seat reclined and my doors unlocked. And every time I pass a boarded-up rest area now, I can still hear that soft little click on my door handle, clear as if it's happening again.